Hey Coleman, how you doing, man?
But how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Let's talk Zola. Man, you had the nuttiest character out of everybody, man. So let's start from the beginning though. Did you read the Twitter thread when it was driving everybody crazy back in
No, not at all. I was under like a Twitter rock apparently because I'm not really a Twitter person, so I just didn't know it existed until I read the screenplay. I got sent the screenplay from Jenixa Bravo, and she was like, she wanted to meet with me about this. She thought I'd be perfect execs. And when I read it at first, I was like, whoa, what does she see in me that knows that I could access this character? Because I've been doing a lot of, sort of highbrow, lovely films playing loving dads and sponsors and things like that. So I just thought, wow, this person knows me actually. So, but she knew that I feel like whatever I had that I could give to this character, and also I can also provide a safety net for my female counterparts to do the tricky work that they need to do, but feel safe about it with somebody like me because I know that I'm such a feminist and I'm such a person who empowers women, but I also want to give them, I have to do this job to be terrible,
right.
to traffic them. And but they know they can feel safe with me. So I thought it was a great pairing and I had a great time.
That's interesting that you say all that because I don't know if that's how anybody would describe X.
No, they would describe that as pretty terrible, like the devil, probably. But but I had to find the trick is I had to find his humanity. You know what I mean? I couldn't judge this guy. Any character that I play, I have to go for the point of view that I love this guy. I want what he wants. And once I understood based on the real guy that he was an immigrant, I was like, well, let me just look at it as an immigrant story and look that this is his agency. This is what he has, the commodification of women, and this is what he's using to sustain himself, to sustain he and his fiance, and he wants a house like everybody else. He wants what the American dream is, and this is his business. So once I looked at him from that point of view, I never saw him as a villain in his own story. If anything, I think that he saw people like Derek as a villain. He was getting in the way of him making money, or I just need people to do what I need to do so I can survive.
Well, I mean, nobody perceives themselves as the villain, right? I mean,
No,
like nobody sees themselves as that. Is that kind of how you had to approach it too? It's like,
absolutely, absolutely, because you can't take in what other people may think or what I think that would be the terrible thing is if I examined it like, oh, he's definitely the villain in this film. No, I had to say that no, he's got extreme need, and his extreme need comes at a cost to the other characters. And so, but to really boil it down, he's a true villain.
how did you come up with? How did you fashion the character though? Because he is such a unique presence, and not just like the switching between accents, which is hilarious in and of itself, but uh, but how did you just kind of come up with the whole? He exudes such menace. How do you kind of get into that headspace that you can do that?
Well, there's so many things. I think as a character actor, I know that I want to make every decision on the way. We made decisions on how he always has a presence in the room, even if he's not in the room.
Hmm.
Even Jenix and I made a decision that even when he's in the bathroom, he's causing a sound. There's a sound that his presence is always known, even though the other three in the other room, you still get his presence, and it's terrifying. And you don't know what that is. So I knew that even like his physical stature had to be a little different. Just the way he walks and commands space had to be different than, let's say, the way I played Cutler in Ma Rainey. I think that he just, he knows that he's the center of the world always, and he knows what he's capable of. And also I wanted to make sure that he has a charm to see that how people can be seduced into going on a ride with him, doing terrible things. So it's a seduction. It's like he's not about great things, but he's got to seduce you. He's got to seduce the audience. I wanted to make sure that the audience sort of fell in love with him a little bit too, even though he's a terrible guy. But in my mind, that helps you examine the characters that get caught up in this. You get caught up because he's a very charismatic guy. So I know I want to do that. Even the way he dressed, to me, and the costume designer made sure he was dressed probably a little bit like I am right now. He's a little loud, but I'm actually wearing real Versace right now. I'm sure he wore like some knockoffs and stuff like that because he was trying hard. You know what I mean? But I'm sure he bought his woman real stuff. But he was, he's just a man who's really trying to find himself in American culture. To be honest, he is definitely an outsider. He was an outsider looking in. And once I figured that out about him, I knew that had to play into his mind, his body, his soul, the way his hands moved, the way he sort of skulked around kind of slowly, or when he was sitting across his legs. He doesn't move fast, or when he moves fast, it's really out of control. When the stakes are high, it's really like sort of, you see the psychology of this guy, that this guy is like a sociopath. So I wanted moments where you actually saw that it was a sociopath that you were dealing with, and then a moment of calm and grace, which I think makes the character even more dynamic and weird.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I found so fascinating about him, is that you mentioned how he kind of always he knows what he's capable of, but I think for the bulk of the movie, we don't understand what he's capable of. Like we don't know
No,
how
you don't know that what he's going to do ever.
Yeah, yeah,
But he always has to stay ahead of you. Just when you think he's going to react one way, he reacts another. Just when you think he's going to get mad, he gives you some money. Just when you think that he's going to just go into a rage, he's going to be very calm. Or he's going to show up with his fiance. Didn't expect that either. Yeah, so
totally came out of nowhere.
he's like the peeling of an onion. You just never know. You're like, oh my God, every time you see X, he's someone else. And so that was very conscious. Even the fact that like I made sure that I made a decision to wear one contact lens. And that was because I thought I knew some Nigerian dude back in New York who was as dark as I am and wore hazel contacts. Because I thought that he was really sort of trying to become Western in some way. And so I just thought, wouldn't this be an interesting thing that makes him a little odd? She says, what makes it even odder is for one contact lens. So when you get a close up and you see his eye, something's off.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned Ma Rainey. You get to reunite with Taylour Paige in this. Talk to me about working with her on both of those films, and kind of how you two work together, how that's been.
First of all, the funny thing is that we shot Zola first, and then we
Right.
did Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. So we thought I got to know her heart, her talent, because she's an incredible dancer and a real, beautiful actor. Very grounded, very sincere. And then going on, and we had to do we become like very close friends because, she trusts me a lot. And I had to do some terrible things and make her go to some awful psychological places and physical spaces. But she trusts me. And then when we did Ma Rainey, we already had that trust. And so we were able to just be supporters of each other, because I think that we're barely in any scenes together except some of the group scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But I love watching her work. I love seeing, she's still earlier in her career than I am in mine. And so I'm just really watching her just flower in this business. And it's really beautiful.
Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk with me about Zola, man. Your role is fantastic. I wish you the best of luck in this and anything else in the future, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate
it. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for checking out the show. If you like what we're laying down, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell to receive notifications for all of our latest stuff.